Hey y'all, happy Friday. I hope everybody is doing well. I just wanted to come on and do a reading. I've been picking up on some very interesting energy. That's a lot of cards. And I just wanted to see what is floating around, what wants to come up. Okay, so these first two cards we have are authenticity and personal growth, which is right on theme for the vibes that I've been picking up on. There's been this really intense energy around, it's almost like this race to oneself is the best way that I can describe it. It feels almost like it's like the it feels almost like the clock is ticking in regards to us really aligning with who we truly are. And not that we're going to run out of time to align with who we truly are, but it feels almost as though the need is becoming greater, more it's like the stakes are raising more now than ever before. And it's so crazy because I know there's so many people, I'm just picking up on so many people who throughout their whole lives just felt so unaccepted, so unseen, so undervalued by those around them. And now that the tables have turned, because it was really like okay to wear a mask, it was really okay to pretend to be someone else, to not really align with what it is that we actually wanted, desired, who we knew that we were deep down inside. There was a time where it was not only okay to not be yourself, but it was actually promoted in one way or another. Like, to be as far removed from who you truly are as possible. And now the time has come, and a lot of us did not anticipate that our time would come. That the time for the weirdos, the time, and when I say weirdos, I do not mean that in a negative light. I literally mean that in the best way possible. But the time for the weirdos is now. It's arrived, and I don't think a lot of us anticipated that we would get to this point. And so I feel that there are people that are like, finally my time has come. And then there are people like, I never anticipated that I would have to walk around the world with my mask. I never anticipated the fact that I would have to deconstruct this mask and actually dig deep and figure out who I actually am and what I actually want. And on the other side of getting to this state of true authenticity is this deep personal growth. As I move towards greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. Like training wheels on a bike, they helped me get to where I am. But now that I can ride, I don't need those slow and crummy wheels, except when I'm making bike analogies. There's been a lot going around energetically in regards to people feeling as though they are feeling so disconnected, feeling almost in this void, because for a lot of us, you have been doing a lot of shadow work. You've been digging into the shadows. You have been really like healing. If not for a while, you've been starting to heal these old childhood wounds and these things that whether it be unconsciously or not, that you cannot take these things, people, places into the next phase of your journey. And so you've been starting to clear out some of those things. But, oh my God. It's the way the thought just went away. Oh my gosh. Wait, I'm going to see if I can get it back. Hold on. As you've been clearing through this, okay, here it is. So we've been almost in this void of, we've been doing the healing work. On the inside, we're starting to feel different. We're starting to feel more connected to ourselves. But our outside reality has yet to catch up with what's going on internally. And so you might feel this disconnect or feel almost as though there's like, what was the point of the work? And Spirit wants you to know that you have been doing the work, and Spirit is thanking you for, you know, showing up for yourself and for doing the work. And Spirit, your Spirit team wants you to know that the work that you have done has not been in vain. It's just going to take a little bit of time for your outside reality to catch up with what's going on the inside. So a lot of the things that we've been manifesting and stepping into, sometimes we forget or don't realize that it takes a minute for our manifestations to actually catch up and for our outside reality to reflect the changes and the shifts that have happened internally, right? Because those things that we've been chipping away at and those old habits and things that we've been trying to do away with, we have been putting in that work, and so we've been waiting for, you know, things in our outside reality to actually start to reflect the changes that we've had internally. But because there is so much going on everywhere, it's going to take a minute. Even if there wasn't a lot going on, it's going to take a minute for these shifts to take place. So it's almost like I'm seeing just like Tetris, almost like all of these different pieces moving and being cut away, and pieces fitting over here and not fitting over here. It's like this massive undertaking, right, of like realignment. And right now you might feel misaligned, or you might feel like, okay, what was the point of the shadow? Everybody's saying do all this hard work and I'm not seeing any benefits, but like, they are coming. They are coming. And in this void, and this is something that I've heard other people on YouTube speaking about, and I came on here to see if it would come up again during my reading, because this has been something that I've been feeling intensely. But it's like, what do I do with my new self? What do we do? Where, first of all, who am I? Where am I? What am I supposed to be doing? If I'm moving out of the old habits that I was doing before to obtain this greater sense of authenticity and connection and alignment with myself, what am I supposed to be doing in the meantime, in between time? So a lot of times we're waiting for these big moments to happen, whether it be like getting really great news about career or a relationship, or just we're waiting for a lot of times these big milestones. And I'm thinking now, even like the country that, well, just, I can only speak about the country that I'm from, but from, I know in America, our holidays, and the fact that like as soon as Christmas is over, like the next day there's Thanksgiving things. It's like we kind of move in this, these milestones. Milestones is not the word I'm looking for, but it's like we're trying to aim and get to these different checkpoints. Like as soon as we get done with one checkpoint, we're immediately trying to be at the next checkpoint. But it's like there's a whole 2 months in between December and February. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole good solid month and a half before we actually get to Thanksgiving or to Valentine's Day. So it's like in between Christmas and Valentine's Day, in between these big monumental moments in your life, it's like a lot of us are asking, well, what am I supposed to do with myself? If I'm not, you know, digging into these old habits anymore, if I'm not operating the way that I used to operate, what am I supposed to be doing? And you might feel this feeling of being stuck, or just being like, what's that meme where he's just like Bill when John Travolta is just like it's literally just like, well, what am I supposed to be doing? And I really think that it is the time, because the play, this idea of play keeps coming up. Okay, so we have artist and storyteller. Now is the time for the artist to create, for the storytellers to tell the stories. We are all artists. We are all storytellers. We all have stories. And right now, I think in a lot of ways, we are being asked to really deep dive into what we've always wanted to do. And that's gonna look, it might look very different from what you've always expected. I'm getting that a lot of us are going to be surprised by the things that we find and discover that we're interested in. But in order for us to even discover what those things are, we need to allow ourselves to create and to play and to explore and to be curious about the world. And it is so much easier said than done. And it kind of reminds me about what a lot of people have been talking about in regards to community, and how, you know, a lot of us are feeling like community is going to be our saving grace. But the truth about community is that a lot of us did not grow up in community. A lot of us do not actually know how to be in community, and do not actually understand that being in community does mean asking for help, and it does mean having to learn how to ask for help, how to identify what it is that you even need to be able to even ask for help. And asking for help is something that's such a new thing for so many of us, that for a lot of us, we are going back to the basics of, one, learning how to play, to figure out what it is that we actually like. Two, we are trying to figure out, how do I even ask for help? And this has been a very interesting thing, because in teaching my toddler how to ask for help, it's one of those things where it's like, you come to realize one day, it's like, damn, I never actually learned how to ask for help. And with her, I'll actually like say the words with her and help her to be able to know what words to even practice when seeking out help from another person. I feel like in so many ways, because so many things are being scraped off of the a lot of things are being scratched and thrown away. Like, we're throwing a lot of old ways of being in the trash, collectively and individually. And so as we're throwing these old things in the trash, we're like realizing like, oh my god, like I don't even know how to do X, Y, and Z. Like, things that, you know, we might have just assumed a whole bunch of us knew how to do. We don't know how to do a lot of things. And we don't even know how to connect with ourselves in a way, or we are learning collectively how to connect with ourselves in a way to say, I don't actually like that. I've been doing this thing because these people expected me to do this thing, but I don't actually like that. I don't actually want to do that. The way that we've been operating, I don't actually want to do that. And like, as we are getting to these basics, getting back to the basics of like figuring out who we are, what we want, and what the fuck is going on, like, I just feel like one of the readers on here was just talking so beautifully about like, sometimes the going back to the basics is just literally getting a coloring book and just learning how to color, like learning how to play. Like, some of the baby steps that a lot of us might even have to take when it comes to learning how to ask for help is even just walking into a store and allowing somebody to help you. Going out of your way to find someone that works at the store to say, hey, can you help me find da 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 da. And there's a lot of healing in that. There's a lot of healing in just kind of like not expecting ourselves to have all the answers, and allowing ourselves to just say, you know what, I never actually knew how to do this thing. I never knew how to find friends. I never knew how to love on myself. I never was taught how to ask for help. I don't actually know how to be in community. I don't know what it looks like to build and continue on with building long-term relationships with people. There's so many things that we have, like, on the surface, we've been pretending or convinced that we know how to do, or that we've been thinking that we understand certain things, that like, as we're digging deeper, we're realizing like, yo, I actually don't know how to do this thing. And that's cool. It's a cool place to be. But, you know, just understand that so many of us are in this space, so many of us are in this new place of surrender, and the more that we push and the more that we try to have control, the more that we are going to realize, like, as we are shifting, we were never really in control. There are things, of course, so many things that we can control in our lives, and it's important to learn what things we can control and what things we can't control. But the way that we are upgrading consciously, we are going to, oh my god, my thoughts keep, I be getting like, sometimes I get like a lot of information at once and then everything just dissipates, and that's okay. That's okay. So then we got the Morrigan, sovereignty. Maybe what I was talking about is going to come back. But let me find my book, because I want to read from the guidebook. Yeah, I don't know what I was saying, and that's okay. Oh, surrender. We're learning how to surrender. We're learning how to go with the flow, because there's a lot of things that we have felt that we've been in control of, or we've been doing the most, trying to control a lot of things. And as we are leaning into this state of surrender, and we are starting to understand that we've been doing more than needed, we're going to have these moments where we feel, I'm going to use the word bored, I feel like there's a better word, but we're going to feel like there's more that we should be doing. But like, we are really asked to just like rest and chill. If whatever you feel that you are being called to do right now, that's what it is that you're being called to do. If you feel like super unmotivated and that's stressing you out, know that your body knows what's up, and your body is trying to send you into a state of rest, because the way that we are also, it's like all this energy that we've put into our lives, it's like as we're starting to clear things out, we're starting to learn how much more energy we've been putting in than what's actually needed. And we're tired. We are so tired. Because all the things we've been doing, we should have never been doing to begin with. All this extra shit. Sorry. Alright, let me find this. The Morrigan. It's on page 72. Maybe this number is relevant to somebody. But we've been doing the most. Like, we've been holding on to so much shit that is literally just like, as the things are falling away, we're gonna be, well, what am I supposed to do now? And we're learning. We're figuring that out. I don't have the answers to that, but we're figuring that out. Whatever your body is telling you to do right now is exactly what you should be doing. The sovereignty, or the Morrigan. What was a time of seeming misfortune in my past that in hindsight led me to develop greater self-respect and personal sovereignty? The Morrigan reminds you that life will never be without challenges. Hardships, boundaries, and death are inevitable. And while it may be difficult to see when you are in the moment, they all carry value. It is easy to believe in our personal power and autonomy when the world turns in our favor. Not so when we face misfortune. Okay, so we are being asked to hold our frequency. Like, as we are moving into these new versions of self, as things continue to rise up and come out of us, and I just want to share, it has been so intense for me, and maybe I'm saying this because maybe somebody can relate, but I've literally, my body has been like shaking, like bringing things up and out. Like, it's actually been a physical, like, sensation for me at times, and it's literally what I've just been being told, to just ride the wave. Like, ride the wave, because we are being asked, as we are up leveling and like moving into these new frequencies, we are being asked to hold these new frequencies as the things swirl around us. I'm literally just seeing like the Wizard of Oz, and when she's in that tornado and all of Kansas is flying across the fucking, like, we're being asked to hold our vibration as things wow. Wow, excuse me. That felt great. We are being asked to hold our vibration as we are changing, right? So all these new things, and you might feel like you want to retreat back or feel like, well, I've done all this work, nothing is changing, so what's the point? I may as well go back to these old habits. I may as well. We're being asked to be patient, to rest, or whatever your body wants you to do that, and trust the process. Trust that nothing is going to happen overnight. The things that are being asked of us are not going to happen overnight. And as we are in this moment of this in between that a lot of us are experiencing, we are being asked to find the new habits that are going to replace the old ones, to actually like look at how much more space we have in our lives and ask ourselves what we want to do with it. Like, what do I want to do with all of this new space that has come up in my life? And then we're also being asked to reflect on the things that in the past seem like the worst freaking thing in the world, but now you can look back and say, oh man, that was really just a part of my journey. That was one of the lessons that I signed up for before I got here, in order for me to walk in a greater sense of authenticity, in order for me to connect more with my gifts, to understand more about who I am, what I want. We be having to go through the wildest shit in order for us to align with who we're supposed to be, which is why comparison to other people's journeys is so wild, because it's like we all have different things that we're here to do, and the lessons that come up, they're going to look different for everybody. But we're being asked to reflect on those lessons and to see what those lessons were actually teaching us, so that we can really come out of this victim mentality and understand that as we hold this new vibration that we are aligning with, that as difficulty and misfortune continues to come into our life, when those things come, we can hold the vibration and know, I've been through hard things before. This might not be, the same thing that I went through before. It might look very different. I might feel as though I don't have the tools to handle this thing at the moment, as we're still figuring out, certain things. But the Morrigan wants you to remember all the times that you've survived. You've survived every day up to this point. And you will continue to survive up until the day that you gotta go. Because we all gotta go. But up until the time that it's time for us to go, we have every day to continue to learn and to grow and to figure it out and to be curious. And because life is so cyclical, and you cannot have joy without pain, when the negative things come in our lives, we are being asked to learn how to reflect on those things, and how to, from a bird's eye view, see the bigger picture, and try to understand why things are happening to us, or why things have happened the way they did, so that when these other negative things come up, we can approach it from a more curious lens, as opposed to a victim mentality of, oh, well, see, I knew these terrible things were going to happen. I knew that this was going to be the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I knew that, the things that were manifesting in the past were just going to manifest again. We are being asked to let go of that. And it's not easy, but we are really being asked to let go of that, because misfortune is a part of life. And if every time we experience misfortune, we lower our vibration by saying, well, I knew this is my life, I knew this was going to happen to me. Like, when we do that, we drop back down into that lower vibration, and we have to work our way back up. And we are being asked to hold on to our vibration and to be strong as these really uncomfortable things come up and out of us. We are literally purging. We are purging internally, and we are purging collectively. And as these things come up, it's like you being asked to just hold on to that surfboard as the waves come in, and just know you are not going to drown. You're going to make it. You're going to make it through. But we're being asked to be patient, to find a coloring book, to figure out what new habits we are going to be putting in place, and to really allow ourselves to have fresh, curious eyes and mindsets as we embrace this new chapter. Okay, break the chain. I'm going to end here. Ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Okay, we're breaking the chains. This is the most perfect card ever for right now, because we're breaking the chains, and she's coming out. It starts with like she's a dark shadow, and she eventually comes into the light. Like she's slowly coming out of the chain. We are out of the chain, out of the cave. Cave, chain, same difference. But like our ancestors, our spiritual team, they really want you to know that you are doing the things, okay? The way we are going to break these chains is by unapologetically standing on business, being who we are, really replacing those old negative habits with new habits, and really allowing ourselves to be new, allowing ourselves to really be free. And we talked about this in one of the pick a pile readings last week or on Monday. But it's like the cage is open. The cave is open. All we have to do is be brave and walk out into the light. And we've been scared. We've been scared to come out into the light. We haven't felt as though it was safe to come out into the light. And at times it was not. But your spirit team wants you to know that it is now safe to come out, see what's happening, check out the new world that we're, walking into, and be open and curious about what it is. Because we don't know. And we're co-creating. We are co-creating with the universe in order to bring about a better world. And there's some wild stuff going on, and it's easy to lose hope, but things are going to be okay. We are going to get to the other side of this. We are. It's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird journey, but we're getting over there. We're getting there. So yeah, I hope this reached who it needed to reach. I typically post on Mondays, but as the energies are attacking me, I am probably going to be attacking as the energies are coming in full force. I'm probably going to be doing more readings because it feels good to be able to see what's there and kind of release the heaviness. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday.